Heck, let's stay there. Just stay. Howdy. I'm Grey Pilgrim. What you're looking at here is a Spanish Mauser, Carbine. Let's get this down a little bit. There. That looks better. This is basically a carbine model of the standard Spanish Mauser. They were made from, about 1895 until, well, I think they stopped using them in the 1950s. This particular kind was used by the Guardian Civil. They're basically their police force. And it's a pretty good rifle. It's very light. It has a beautiful action. Standard Mauser action and 7 Mauser. A lot of the later ones were rechambered in either 8 Mauser or 7.62 NATO. But this one is still in 7 Mauser. It has an early serial number, which makes me think, let me see. Yeah, the trigger is a very light trigger. It has a bit of a long take up to it, but it's a clean break and it just works well. It's a good deer rifle, by the way. It's in 7 Mauser, and it's a good quality rifle. The Americans, after seeing the Spanish with this in the 1898 Spanish-American War, they had the long one at that time, or the long variant. And the Americans really got enamored to it. They were using the old 30-40 Craig, like up there, and decided that this was a much better rifle to have. By the way, I've been a little under the weather of late, and I got a scratchy throat. I'm a little weak, and I'm not feeling that great. So just bear with me, okay? Anyway, I was in a Spanish mood, you might say. And this gun it's one of my favorites. Well, I got a lot of favorites. I got a lot of guns. Wish I had more. There's no such thing as just too many guns, There's just no such thing. When I die, my kid's going to have a wonderful time holding an estate sale and cashing in. But that's another tale. It's just something I enjoy. I enjoy the hell out of them. Anyway, besides this, I've got this. What is this? This. Come here. This is an Astra 400. From the serial number on it, as you look it up in Lynn and Terrace's book called Astra Automatic Pistols. This is the definitive work on Astras, and it's not exactly cheap. I paid $109 for this book, and it isn't that thick, but it is thick. I mean, it is just full of data. It was written in the 1980s, but this is the most copious, well-presented book on the subject you could possibly get. Anyway, this particular gun, it's a blowback. It's a 9mm Largo, which is 9 by 23. A little scotch longer than 9 by 19 Parabellum, but and it can be loaded a little more powerfully. But it's also it's been badmouthed a few times just because it is a blowback as versus a locked breech. This is based on the design of the Count of Campo-Guerro, which also was a slab-sided sort of thing like this, made in a round system like this is. But it's a little bit more, well, it has some funny quirks, but it's a little more elegant looking pistol than this one. This one's been beat all to hell. It's got markings all over it from, the original Astra logo has been just about almost polished off. A lot of the older markings have been polished off, but there is one military acceptance proof mark on it, so I know that this was from the Army, and, well, I know that it came from the Army, and by the serial number in Lynn's book, it's from the second batch that the Army bought in 1922. And the first batch was just a few for, I think a couple of hundred, for test purposes. And then they decided on a massive order, and this is from that massive order. It was shipped off to somewhere by the sea, I'm guessing, because it had all the telltales of being, it was covered in the rust that you get from salt water. So I don't think this was Navy. This was, according to his book, it was an Army pistol, but I think it saw service near to a seaport. So I'm not sure where, but somewhere in Spain. This probably was held by somebody during the Spanish Civil War. So was this. That was in the 1930s. That was quite a Donnybrook. It was sort of the prelude to World War II. The Germans backed one side. America was neutral in it. Some other Europeans backed the other side, and I think it was the Republicans are the ones who won. They were fascists under Franco, and Franco stayed in power until the 1980s or 90s when he died, and then he turned over power back to the Spanish king, who has been on the throne ever since. Well, they're on the second king since the revolution. This is second. So Juan Carlos was the king before. The only, by the way, seated Bourbon monarch on a throne in Europe today. Bourbons, Louis XVI, the French Revolution, those Bourbons. Anyway, interesting pistol. I really enjoy it. I've shot it. It's very loud. Being a carbine length, it's just a very loud rifle, but it's flat shooting. You'll notice this big, huge sight on it. It goes up to 2,000 meters. I think that's pushing it a little, shall we say. But the sight moves up, and then you can slide her down, and there. That's 2,000 meters. If you feel lucky enough to try and take it, now, my eyesight isn't good enough for more than about 300 meters, which is what it said here. But you can do a little bit of Kentucky windage and shoot off at like 50 yards or so easily. Anyway, Spanish Mauser, Astra 400. And that's about all I got to say. Happy trails.